I knew one day the dreaded day would come, but hello, it is your boy Haga, and today, Test Realm Spell Changes Part 2. Test Realm has just gone live about 15-20 minutes ago, and more changes have been made. I don't think very good ones, but I am here to show you them today in case you don't have membership or for some reason you just can't get on Test Realm, don't want to get on Test Realm, etc. Your boy's here. Now, I will say before we go over all these changes, I don't feel that all of these will stay. I feel like some of these changes are too drastic and will be changed back. But let us go over them nonetheless. Just looking at it. I'm gonna let that sink in. I'm gonna let you guys see this. Let that sink. Okay, now that that's sunk in. Fire Dragon was nerfed about 60 base damage. It was before at 600 base damage. What herp-a-derp. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. It was at 600 base damage with like 3 something on the overtime. Now 540 with 435. But okay, I could deal with that. King Artorias. All the King Artoriases have received changes. Fire King Artorias went from 840 base damage to 780. So just a 60 base damage nerf. Nothing too crazy. Next up, Afreet. Don't want to talk about it. Rain of Fire was changed. Actually, the entire concept of Rain of Fire was changed. Before, Rain of Fire used to be 300 base damage to all enemies, followed up with an 800 damage overtime to all enemies. So it was a small hit followed up by a big overtime. It was really good for bosses that had intercepts like Gregor or Renegade Druid, even like maybe Satharilith or not Satharilith. You typically use Sun Serpent. Omen was another one that used it. So that is now changed. Do I agree with it? No, but whatever. I also feel like the damage is a bit too low. I feel like for 2 more pips, why am I only doing 140 more damage? It's whatever. Sun Serpent was nerfed heavily. Sun Serpent used to do 900 to 1,000 base damage with a 300 hit to all the other enemies. 615 to 715. Another spell that received some changes, Scion of Fire, used to do 1,200 base damage. The effect is still the same, where if they have 6+ traps, it will double. Now, instead of 1,200 base damage, we are looking at 1,120. And I believe as far as fire, that is all the changes we have here. I don't think these changes are going to persist, but they're changes. So, first things first, this was a small one, not too big of a change because it's technically not in the live realm yet. But for Spiritual Tribunal, the fully spell-lamented version used to do 905 based on the highest element that you picked, based on the spell element. They nerfed it down to 605 instead. Oh no, it's only 605 for Myth. So it could do 585 for the other ones. Oh, but it's more evened out. Okay. So that's just a small change. Other changes, we have nothing to Power Nova yet. Hoping. King Artorias is down. I can tell you real quick. King Artorias used to do 725 base damage with a -40 charm. Now does 665 with a -25. I don't personally think that's too worth it for a -25, but is what it is. For some reason, Ra needed to be nerfed. I can tell you the exact damage if you give me 2 seconds. Oh, whoa, no, it got nerfed by 30. Okay, Ra used to do 560 to 640. For some reason, now does 530 to 610. As if we balances didn't struggle enough. Sabretooth went from 1,000 to 1,100 with a Spirit Shield to 905 to 1,005. I guess it's okay. It's still a pretty strong spell. You know, the Spirit Shield wasn't used too frequently. Scion of Balance received a heavy nerf, going from 1,125 base damage to 955 base damage. Fire Scion lost 80 damage, and we lost like almost 200. So like 175-ish. Don't think that was necessary, but you know, here we are. Again, these are some changes that I don't think will persist, but I guess only time will tell. So changes on the balance side, Sabretooth, Ra, King Artorias, and Scion of Balance. The rest are all the same. Alright, now moving on to Ice. We have some changes here. First change is coming in the form of a Snow Angel. Snow Angel used to do 100 damage on the first hit with a bonus 660 over 3 rounds, along with the taunt. The taunt is no longer shown there. And now it does 35. Anyways, Woolly Mammoth used to do 800 to 900 base damage along with the stun. Now only does 690 to 790. King Artorias for ice used to do 725. Now does 650. The other effects still persist the same. Scion of Ice used to do 1100. Now does 930. 930. Lord of Winter used to do 950 to 1050. Now does 785. It seems Snowball Barrage, it did receive its 10 damage buff still, or nerf still. 10 base damage per pip. But they added a plus 250. There's like a broken symbol here that shows a 0. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. It looks kind of like an enchant, so at least they gave it something that makes it better than Tempest. Don't know what this is supposed to be, but I guess we'll find out soon. Lucio. All right, so moving on to the myth side of things. Some minor changes here. No, never mind. They're not minor. Let me not sugarcoat it. All right, Arthurus is still an AoE, thank God. King Artorias receiving a nerf. Used to do 50 base damage with a tick over 3 rounds of 1020. Now with a tick of 825. I was checking to see what other things had changed. First, Basilisk received a nerf. Used to do 325 plus 825 over 3 rounds. Now does 260 plus 750 over 3 rounds. Medusa used to do 770 with a stun of 2 rounds. And now does 600 with a stun of 2 rounds. That I can kind of understand because it's a stun of 2 rounds. But, you know. Anyways. Those are the 3 changes there. Celestial Calendar. Used to do a base damage 1070 to 1170. Now 855 to 955. Losing about 200 base damage there. Scion of Myth used to deal 1150 base damage. Now deals 905. 250 base damage decreased from Scion of Myth. Scion of Balance does more damage than Scion of Myth. And Scion of Balance is easier to trigger. Mystic Colossus received a 15 base damage nerf. Used to be 650. Now it is 635, I believe. Snake Charmer and Witch's Houseclaw, I believe, are still the same. And let me get it straight then. I'm talking PvE sense. For you guys, most of you guys know I'm not a PvPer. But for all you PvPers that just got triggered because I said that, I meant in PvE. Blading and then Scioning is easier than stun blocking into a Scion. For a boss, to kill a boss. Some changes coming on the life side of things. First things first. Rebirth. Rebirth got a big buff. Used to be 650. Yeah, 650. Now at 790. So that's pretty nice. King Artorias now does 650 base damage. Before it used to do 705. So it took about 55 base damage decrease. Gnomes now, instead of doing 2 life dispels, puts a minus 50% infection. And also used to do 780 to 880 base damage. Now does 690 to 790. So received about a 90 damage decrease. Spinosaur used to do 600 plus 750 over 3 rounds. Now doing 475 plus 690 over 3 rounds. Scion of Life got a very big buff. Don't really know why. 1480 health over plus 300 over 3 rounds. Times 2 if the person is less than a quarter of health. I don't think this is necessary just because you can heal for almost 2,000 or like 1,500 with a fairy. Who are we healing? Malice there. None of the wizards have this much health. So I don't really see the point in that. Wings of Fates, and before you guys get triggered again, because I wasn't thinking of Power Link. Yes, it's like Power Link, damage and a heal, but they buffed it. So before it was 50 with like 300 or something like that over time. Now it's 75 plus 375 over 3 rounds and 75 plus 780 over 3 rounds on the healing side. The heal is kind of nice, but you know, I don't know how often Life Wizards will still be using it. King Artorias used to do 725, now deals 665. So about a 50 damage or 60 damage decrease. But the other effects still... No, actually, King Artorias used to put a minus 30% infection, now puts a minus 50% infection. According to Wizard101 Central, as well as the plus 10 Pierce Blade. Skeletal Dragon getting a big change. Before, used to do 200 base damage plus 810 over 3 rounds. Now does 50 plus 900 over 3 rounds. I think that's a buff, in my opinion. Even though you get less damage on the first hit, most people didn't really use Skeletal Dragon for the first hit. You would kind of use it in the sense of King Artorias, like Myth King Artorias, and now it's more better acquitted to that. Dr. Von's monster used to be 820 damage with a minus 25 infection. Or is that? Yeah, minus 25 infection. And now it is 680 with a minus 50 infection. Scion of Death used to deal 975. Now does 850. Was reduced by 125 damage. Hey, now, again, I have to have someone screen share because I don't have a 130 Storm Wizard. But let's go. Did Leviathan? No, Leviathan is still at 975. Okay, I thought it got, like, changed again. So, changes for Storm. King Artorias. Oh, hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. So I can have everything and compare what it used to be to now. Okay, so Storm King Artorias used to deal 1120 base damage, now deals 975 base damage, so pretty big nerf there. Scion of Storm got a pretty hefty buff, used to deal 1275 base damage, now deals 1400. As if the difference between Storm and the other schools wasn't already immense enough, now it is even more so out there. Are those the only 2 spells that got changed for Storm? Yeah, that's it. Those are the only 2 updated spells in this update. The rest were changed last time. But now, yeah, wow. Okay. Well, that was easy. Thanks. For some reason, I was thinking more. Wow. So I guess everyone else just got changed last time. What is... Yeah. Wow, okay. So they just nerfed Storm heavily last time, and so now they're hitting everybody else. Overall, the biggest changes here, obviously the most talked about one is going to be Ifrit. Way too low, in my opinion. I feel like if they're going to do 555 damage, you might as well give the minus 90 because that's barely any damage. And if you want to keep it that low or like in the 600 range, 700 range, then give it like a minus 50 or something, you know? King Artorias should not be, like... I get that you don't want to have weaknesses, but I feel like a minus 25 with 600 damage is, like... I don't know. These changes are so weird that, again, I said in the beginning, I don't think these changes are going to persist. But I still want to bring them to you guys nonetheless in case they do persist. And they do go into the live realm. But, yeah. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been your boy Hyga. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Wizard101 content. And until next time, I'll see you later.